Yes, students, in previous class, we completed feedback amplifier, right? In module number 3, almost we completed feedback amplifier. After that, we need to start now output stage and power amplifier. So in that we discussed right already that there are 5 classification in power amplifier. Which are those? Class A, Class B, okay, Class C, okay, Class AB, then Class D. Okay, these are the 5 different types of amplifiers. Understood? Class A, Class B, Class C, Class AB, and Class D. In your syllabus, they are not given Class D amplifier here. Only we can discuss about Class A amplifier with circuit diagram, okay, derivation, and problems. Okay. In exam, they can ask, okay, either Class A or Class B. Okay, these are very important here. Understood? So write the proper circuit diagram, then you have to show the derivations with respect to power efficiency, okay, for the Class A and Class B, then Class C, then Class A. Understood? So today we'll start with the Class A amplifier here. Here you take power amplifier. Okay, power amplifier means what here? Output side, you are getting a maximum current and maximum voltage. Okay, by using the any kind of transistor, either you take a power transistor or you can take BJT or MOSFET transistor here. From that, we can make the higher output current and higher output voltage. Understood? That is the meaning of power amplifier. Understood? Power means you get a larger power for the output side, the amplifier. Understood? So that is the meaning of this one. So next here you take now different types of classification in power amplifier. Okay, so power amplifier they can call it as the output stages here. Okay, both are same here. Okay, power amplifier or output stages. Okay, means output stage we're getting a maximum power here. That's why they called output stages. Okay, here we want to take different classification. So what are the classification? First to take Class A, Class B, okay, then Class AB, Class C. You take only 4 here. Okay, Class D they are not given for your syllabus here. You take only 4 classification here. Understood? So this one is the complete output of the Class A amplifier. Okay, this one is the complete output. Okay, output means what here? In terms of voltage and current. Okay, in terms of voltage and current. For the x-axis they have taken time period. For the y-axis they have taken current here. Okay, see this one here. For the y-axis they have taken current. Okay, which current? Output current. Okay, output current means suppose if you use the BJT transistor here, what is output terminal? Collector. Okay, so collector current is the output current for the BJT. Suppose if it is a MOSFET here, drain current. Okay, but here in Class A amplifier they have taken now BJT. Okay, for the BJT output terminal is collector here. So for that you take y-axis as a current, for the x-axis as a time period. So almost you take output of the BJT here. Okay, so here you take variable output signal. Variable means it's a AC signal. Okay, continuously there is a change in the cycle, positive cycle to positive cycle to negative cycle. Okay, almost we're getting a full cycle. Okay, means for the Class A amplifier, almost we're getting full cycle means you have to take 360-degree cycle. Okay, 360-degree cycle means here when you come for the DC load line, okay, you have to take the RL. Okay, in the BJT Q point, okay, it is located at the middle of the DC load line. Okay, suppose if you plot the DC load line for the Class A amplifier here you take biasing point. Okay, biasing point you have to place it across the middle of the DC load line. Okay, from that we can generate the full cycle for the Class A amplifier. Remember this one. Okay, Class A means almost there is a full cycle. That is 360-degree cycle because the Q point is at the middle of the DC load line. Okay, come for the second one here. So what is second one here? Class B amplifier. Okay, so class B is the second power amplifier here. Same, you take collector current versus time period here. So here output is what here? Only half cycle. Okay, that is the difference between the class A and class B. In class B, almost we're getting a only half cycle. There is no negative cycle here. Only they have taken positive cycle. Understood? So almost we're getting a positive current here. Okay, because there is no negative current. So IC its axis is now only positive current because this one is the 180-degree cycle. Okay, class B output is how much here? 180-degree cycle. Understood? Then what is the Q point position in the DC load line here? Here Q point, it is located at the lower side of the DC load line. Okay, for the class A, what to take in here? Middle of the DC load line, right? For the class B, you have to take lower side of the DC load line, means near to x-axis. Okay, near to x-axis, they have located Q point. Understood? That's why we're getting a 180-degree cycle. Next, third one is what here? Class AB. Okay, in class AB, what happens here? We are getting output signal, that is collector current is greater than the 180-degree and less than the 360-degree cycle. Okay, see this one here. This one is the DC current here. Okay, means the DC load line here. In DC load line, there is a positive cycle here. Okay, there is a positive cycle, means we are getting cycle above the 180-degree cycle. Okay, below the DC current here, there is a negative. Okay, there is a negative current here, but this negative current is clipped off. Okay, they have removed the sum of the negative current here. Understood? We are not getting a complete negative current here. Okay, sum of the negative current is clipped off. Okay, why? Because the Q point at the higher side of the DC load line. Okay, in class AB amplifier, Q point is located at higher side of the DC load line. Understood? So here, what is the output of the class AB now? Almost we're getting above the 180-degree, but less than the 360-degree cycle. Okay, this is for the class AB. So next you take class C. This is the last. Okay. So class C means what here? It's a small signal operation. Okay, we can do it small signal operation here because the output current is almost less than the 180-degree cycle. Okay, output current is always less than the 180-degree cycle. So 180-degree cycle means Q point, it is located at the after the x-axis. Okay, so below the x-axis and after the x-axis, both are same here. Below the x-axis or after the x-axis, Q point is located. Okay, when Q point is located after the x-axis here, the current is almost very small here. Okay, very small means we can take less than the 180-degree cycle. Understood? This is for the class A. So there are 4 classification in power here. Class A for the 360-degree cycle, class B for the 180-degree cycle, class AB for the greater than the 180-degree cycle and less than the 360-degree cycle, and class C for the less than the 180-degree cycle. Understood? So these are the different power amplifier. Okay, these are the different power amplifier. Understood? So any doubts are there here? Understood this one? What is the difference between the class A, then class B, okay, then class AB, then class C? Next, you take class A amplifier. Okay, next start with the class A amplifier here. So this is very important for the examination. Okay, You'll get a question on class A or class B. Okay, remember this one. Sometimes they will ask both. First you have to write the circuit diagram. Okay, then you have to write the derivation. This one is very simple here, but you have to make practice. Okay, class A means what here? We are making a full cycle. Okay, we are making a full current cycle and voltage cycle here. Okay, that is the meaning of class A amplifier. Understood? First to take derivation here. This is the circuit diagram here. Is it visible, this diagram? Okay. See here, there are two transistors here. Okay, Q1 and Q2. Okay, there are two transistors here, Q1 and Q2 here. Okay, so Q1 for the load, it acts as a load here. Q2 for the, it acts as a driver. Understood? So load means it's an output transistor. Driver means it's an input transistor. Okay, Q2 is the input transistor here. Understood? Q1 is what here? Output transistor. Remember this one. Q2 is what here? It's a driver transistor. It drives the Q1 transistor because it is connected with the output of the Q2. Okay, Q1 is connected with the output of the Q2. Okay, first you come for the Q2 here. Q2, this is the BJT transistor, right? What are the three different terminals here? Base, collector, and emitter. Okay, so base, collector, emitter. Emitter is connected where here? Ground or negative voltage. Okay, here you take negative VCC. Okay, negative VCC means we are applying the negative voltage like 5 voltage, minus 5 voltage, minus 12 voltage. Okay, you have to take constant because this is the DC voltage. VCC andre it is a DC voltage, not AC voltage here. Okay, we are applying the negative DC voltage here for the emitter of the Q2 transistor and the base of the Q2. Okay, the base of the Q2 is connected where here? One resistor and one diode. The resistor is connected where here? Ground connection. Okay, diode is connected where here? Again ground connection. So we are making a biasing for the Q2 transistor. Okay, what is the purpose of connecting resistor and diode here? We are making a biasing here. Means we are applying the some voltage. Okay, some voltage by connecting the resistor and diode. So what is the purpose of connecting resistor here? In order to control the voltage and current. Then what is the purpose of connecting diode here? It's a forward bias here. There is a continuous loop. Okay, there is a continuous loop in between the base and emitter. Okay, emitter is connected to negative voltage, but base is connected to a positive voltage. Okay, across the diode. So D1 is what now? Forward bias. So D1, they have connected in forward bias here. It will conduct the positive voltage. Remember this one. When diode is connected in forward bias means it will conduct only positive voltage. Next, you take collector. So in collector, so what happens here in collector? It's output of the Q2. Okay, it's output of the Q2. Understood? So output of the Q2 now, it is connected where here? Emitter of the Q1. Okay, it's emitter of the Q1. And the base of the Q1 is connected where here? Input voltage, VI. Okay, this one is the applied voltage. Okay, VI is what here? Applied voltage. So almost you have to apply positive voltage here. When there is a positive voltage here, the Q1 becomes on condition, means output transistor becomes on condition. So when it is an on condition here, the collector is connected where here? Plus VCC. Okay, Q1 output transistor, it is connected where here? Positive DC voltage. This positive DC voltage, it goes to now output of the load resistance. Okay, output of the load resistance when Q1 in on condition. Okay, here if you apply VI is a positive cycle here, then Q1 becomes on condition. When it is on condition here, the collector voltage goes to emitter of the output. Okay, emitter is output here for the Q1. Then it goes to where here? Output of the load resistance. Okay, suppose when there is a negative cycle, what happens here? Q1 becomes off condition. So when it is an off condition here, there is no current from collector to emitter. Okay, there is no current across the load resistance. Understood? So in this condition, okay, you will get a negative current. Okay, and Q1 in negative cycle here. Okay, means off condition. When Q1 in off condition here, output side will get a negative cycle. Understood? So here for making positive cycle and negative cycle, it is responsible for what here? Q1. Understood? Q2 for only you have to drive the Q1 transistor. Understood? You take some equations here. First you take Q1 transistor. Okay, Q1 means what here? That is output transistor here. That is emitter follower. Okay, emitter, it follows the base voltage. That's why I can call it the emitter follower. Okay. So what is the current here? Constant current is I. Okay. For the emitter side, we are generating the current here for the given transistor. It is from the collector. Okay, that is I. I means what here? It's a constant current here. Remember this. Then this Q1 transistor, it is maintained by the Q2 transistor. Okay, this Q1 transistor is maintained by the Q2 transistor here. So for that you take now IE1. You take IE1 here, that should be equal to IE plus IM. Okay, you take this equation here. So here after IE1, right? So IE1 means what here? It's the output current of the Q1 transistor. Okay, it is flowing across the where to where. Some of the current goes to collector of the Q2, some of the current goes to load resistance. Okay, so you can write now IE1 is equal to I plus IL. Okay, here you can write the equation. I1 is equal to now I plus IL, right on this point. So output of the first current means emitter current. It should be combination of the Q2 current and load resistance current here. That's why written I1 is equal to I plus IL. Understood? So here the taken KVL equation. So apply KVL for the output side. Okay, output of the Q1 transistor. So apply KVL here. So if you apply KVL here, we'll get V0 is equal to V1 into VB1. Okay. Now to find out the output voltage, what is the equation here? Vi minus VB1. Next, you write one more equation here. When output voltage is maximum. Okay, when output voltage maximum means we can take the equation here plus VCC minus VCE saturation. Okay, so Q1 transistor you have to maintain in saturation condition for them not to get the maximum voltage. Okay, so you have to write this equation here. V0 is equal to Vi minus VV1 for the KVL input and output here. For finding out the output maximum, you have to apply again KVL equation with respect to collector to emitter. Okay, for that you get a plus VCC minus VCE saturation. Next, okay, this is for the positive cycle. Okay, what you take in this equation V0 and V maximum. This is for the positive cycle of the output. Next, when you come for the negative cycle of the output here, the Q1 becomes a off condition. Okay, the Q1 becomes a off condition. When Q1 becomes off condition means Q2 becomes a saturation. Okay, so you have to maintain the Q1 in cutoff condition, Q2 in saturation condition for the negative cycle. So in negative cycle, what happens here? We can write the equation now. V0 minimum is equal to minus IR. Okay, you have to apply KVL, or you can write the according to Ohm's law for the V0 equation, or you can apply the KVL for the output side. Now we'll get minus I into RL. Okay, this one is the output minimum voltage, the negative voltage. Minimum means it's a negative voltage or negative current. So for that, what they taken here, minus I into RL. Same thing, you write the KVL equation for the Q2 transistor. Okay, because when Q2 in saturation condition here, we can write this one here. Output voltage minimum is equal to minus VCC plus VCE saturation. Okay, this is the KVL equation. You take Q2 transistor here. Okay, minus VCC, then minus plus VCE saturation. Okay, you take a voltage between the collector to emitter, that is in saturation, because QT is in saturation here. So you can write now equation minus VCC plus VC saturation. After that, we want to find out the bias current. Okay, you take bias current here, that should be greater than the load current here. Okay, so take now current equation for the Q2 transistor. Okay, this is the biasing current. Okay, see here, Q2 is the driver current, right? This means driver transistor. It drives the Q1 transistor. For that, you take output of the Q2 is what here? Biasing current, that is capital I. So you can write the capital I equation according to Ohm's law. You take minus VCC plus VC saturation 2 divided by R. 2 means it's a second transistor. Okay, so the biasing current is greater than or equal. Okay, it depends on the voltage level. Okay, what are the voltage level here? Minus VCC plus VC saturation divided by RL. Understood? So this is the biasing current equation. Okay, first you write the equation for the positive cycle. Okay, what is the positive cycle here? V0 and V0 maximum. What is negative cycle here? V minimum and V0 minimum. Okay, then you take biasing current equation according to Ohm's law. Understood? Then you have to write the transfer cat 6. This one is what here? Transfer cat 6. Okay, what is the meaning of transfer cat 6 here? It's a relationship between the input voltage and output voltage. Okay, that we can call it as a transfer cat 6. Okay, for the x-axis they have taken input voltage, for the y-axis they have taken output voltage. Remember this. Okay, so first you come for the x-axis. This is the x-axis, positive x-axis, negative x-axis. Next, positive y-axis, negative y-axis. So positive cycle means we want to take Q1 transistor in on condition or saturation condition. Remember this one. So positive cycle means Q1 becomes a on condition or saturation condition. So negative cycle means Q1 becomes a cutoff condition or Q2 becomes a saturation. This is the explanation. Okay, what we discussed in the equation, same thing you have to write it in transfer cat 6. So when Q1 in on condition here, you have to write the increasing output voltage. But write the increasing output voltage when Q1 in on condition means linear condition. When Q1 in saturation condition here, you get a maximum current that is in constant mode. Okay. So Q1 in saturation means we'll get a maximum current. Okay, I've taken two conditions for the positive. One is on condition, one is second one is saturation condition. So in this condition, what is the output voltage? Maximum output voltage here plus VCC minus VC saturation 1. Okay, this is the output voltage level. Just maximum 100 voltage or 5 voltage. But you take this equation. Okay, it depends on the applied DC voltage. What is DC voltage here? Plus VCC minus VC saturation. Same thing you write for the negative cycle here. So negative cycle, it depends on the Q1 and Q2 also. Q1 have to maintain cutoff condition, Q2 have to maintain saturation condition. So when Q1 cutoff condition here, okay, this is the curve. This is the curve. So okay, what is the level of the output now? V is equal to minus I into RL. Okay, this one is the V0 minimum. Okay, output voltage minimum for the negative. The maximum negative voltage means how much here? Means Q2 becomes saturation condition. Okay, when Q2 becomes saturation condition, what is the output voltage now? Minus VCC plus VC saturation 2. Okay, minus VCC plus VC saturation 2. Understood? This is the complete transfer characteristics of class A amplifier. Understood? So is there doubts here? Any doubts are there? So next you move on to the signal waveform. Okay, signal means what here? In terms of voltage and current, we can call it signal waveform. See here, they have taken 4 signals in class A amplifier. Remember, here problems are very important here. Okay, here problems are very important. So derivation means you have to write that equations. Okay, transfer etc. Then you have to write one more derivation for the maximum power transformation in class A amplifier. So for that, you have to take these 4 signal waveforms. Okay, the maximum signal waveform. First one is what here? Output voltage. Okay, this is for the only voltage. Okay, output voltage what here? You're getting full cycle, right? 360-degree cycle. So we got plus VCC and minus VCC. Okay, voltage amplitude, it depends on the what here? Applied DC voltage. Okay, the maximum voltage how much here? Plus VCC. The maximum negative voltage how much here? Minus VCC. Understood? So in class A amplifier, the maximum voltage is plus VCC. Okay, minimum voltage is minus VCC. Remember this one. This is for the class A output voltage. Next, second one. Here they have taken VCE output voltage for the Q1 transistor. Okay, this one is the Q1 transistor, means load transistor, output transistor. For the output transistor, they are going to calculate the collector to emitter voltage. Okay, so collector to emitter voltage means this is only for positive voltage because Q1 is the maintained in saturation condition or linear condition. Okay, there is no cutoff condition for the Q1 transistor. Suppose if you take a Q1 in cutoff condition here, it goes to be here negative. Okay, but always you have to maintain on condition or saturation condition for the Q1 transistor here. Suppose if you maintain linear or saturation condition here, okay, almost we're getting a maximum voltage. How much maximum voltage here? 2 into VCC, because almost there is a positive cycle here. There is no negative cycle in the first transistor. What is the maximum here? 2 VCC. What is the minimum here? 0 voltage. What is the middle voltage here? VCC. I have to take 3 voltages for the Q1 output voltages here. The maximum how much here? 2 VCC. The middle one is how much here? VCC. And minimum is 0 voltage. Same thing you take now collector current for the first transistor. What is the first transistor? Q1 transistor. So current is also almost positive here. Okay, current is almost positive because the Q1 they are maintaining saturation and linear condition here. That's why getting positive current here. The maximum current is 2 into I. Okay, 2 into I. What is the middle current here? Only I. What is the minimum current here? 0. Okay, 2I is the maximum current in Q1 transistor. The middle current, minimum current is how much here? I. The lowest current is 0. Next, you take PD1. Okay, power distribution of the first transistor. Okay, power distribution for the first transistor here means power consumption. Okay, yes, power consumption you have to mention. So what is power equation here? V into I. Okay, what is power equation here? V into I. So for that you take VCC into I. If you multiply VCC into I here, you will get almost positive current, means positive power. Okay, so this positive power, it depends on the output transistor. What is output transistor in Q1? Okay, VCC into I. Understood? So power dissipation, power consumption of the first transistor means you have to multiply by the DC voltage, positive DC voltage and positive current. You write equation now. Okay, apply KVL for the first transistor. Okay, what is first transistor? Q1 transistor. So apply KVL for the output side. Output and the collector and emitter. Okay, apply the KVL in between the collector and emitter here. Okay, VC1, take it outside, we get plus VCC minus V0. Okay, VC1 is equal to what here? Plus VCC minus V0. Then current. What is current here? That is VCC by RL. Okay, so current is what here for the first transistor now? VCC by RL according to Ohm's law. Then power distribution for the first transistor what here? VC1 is equal to IC1. Okay, VC1 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು? Voltage across the collector to emitter multiply by the collector current 1. Okay, that is the power distribution. Okay, instantaneous power dissipation means it's a positive power dissipation. Understood? So is there any doubts here? So next to take one more power dissipation for the Q1 transfer here. Okay, power means almost you take P is equal to V into I. Okay, so V means what here? Almost you have to take DC power supply, that is VCC. Okay, current means you have to take collector current. Understood? So based on this one here, they have taken power analysis here. Okay, here they have taken one problem here. Okay, consider emitter follower circuit. Okay, means class A amplifier. Emitter follower ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು class A amplifier. In that VCC how much they given here? 10 voltage. Okay, means DC supply is how much here? 10 voltage. The current is how much here? 100 milliamps, and load resistance is how much here? 100. These are the given parameters. Okay, the given VCC 10, current is 100 milliamps, RL is 100 ohm. Here question is what here? Find the power distribution of the Q1 and Q2. When output voltage is 0. Okay, when output voltage is 0 here, but write Q1 condition and Q2 condition power dissipation. Understood? Next, second question. If for a sinusoidal output voltage for the maximum possible amplitude, okay, neglecting V saturation, find the average power dissipation in Q1 and Q2, and also find the load power. Here, for the second question, they neglected VC saturation. Okay, by neglecting the VC saturation, you have to find out the maximum amplitude based on the Q1 and Q2 power dissipation, and also you have to find out the load power also, means output power. Okay, see here, what are the equation you got here in class A? First to take the equations. Okay, V0 is equal to Vi minus VB1. It's for the positive voltage. The maximum positive voltage equation is what here? Plus VCC minus VCE1 saturation. For negative output voltage minus IR. Okay, the maximum negative voltage means minus VCC plus VC saturation. Then what is the current equation for the emitter follower? Means Q1 transistor minus VCC plus VC saturation divided by R. Okay, these are the given equations. Okay, based on that you have to write the formulas here. See here, for the first question, V0 is neglected, and the output voltage is neglected. Okay, suppose if you neglect the output voltage here, okay, you take KVL equation. Okay, for the KVL equation you take Q1 transistor here. Okay, what is Q1 transistor KVL equation here? Plus VCC minus VC1 minus V0. That should be equal to 0. Okay, here V0 is 0 here. So now you have to consider VCC is equal to VCE. Okay, VCC is equal to VCE when V0 is neglected. Just for the VCC nimdalle 10 voltage only. So 10 nothing but a VCE. Understood? So you can write the power dissipation for the Q1 and Q2 now. PD1 is equal to PD2. So VCC into I. Okay, VCC how much here? 10. What is I here? 100 milliamps. So how much you got now? Power dissipation for the first transistor, second transistor, 1 watt. Okay, almost you got 1 watt. Second question. In second question, what they given here? Neglecting VC saturation. Okay, you have to neglect the VC saturation here. If you neglect the VC saturation means we can find out the maximum power dissipation for the first and second. See here, you take first transistor power here. Okay, so first transistor power means we can take now average power. Okay, because we are neglected saturation voltage here. Okay, if you neglect the saturation means you have to take minimum power. Okay, so that's why I've taken VCC into I divided by 2. Okay, VCC into I divided by 2 because we are neglecting the saturation here. That's why I can take now 10 into 100 milliamps divided by 2 here. How much you got here? 0.5 watt. Okay. And also you have to find out Q2 power distribution. Okay. So find out the power distribution for the second transistor. Second transistor is what here? It's a negative voltage, right? Second transistor is only for negative voltage here. So for that you can take now Q2 current is now I is equal to 100 milliamps. The voltage at the collector will be having average value of the 0 voltage. The average voltage for the across Q2 will be VCC and average distribution will be PD is equal to I into VC divided by average. Okay. So here they taken I into VC. Okay, I into VC nothing but it's a minimum. Okay, minimum power dissipation because Qt is responsible for the negative voltage. Okay, no need to take the 1 by 2. Okay, that's why you take only I into VC or I into VCC. VCC estimate is a 0.1 into 10. Okay, that is a 1 watt. After that, you have to find out the output power of the class A amplifier. Okay, that is PL. Okay, you take now what is output power here? That is AC voltage. Okay, AC voltage and AC current here. That's why I can write the power equation in terms of voltage form. Okay, power we are going to express in only voltage form. That's why I can write AC voltage, that is V square RMS divided by RL. Okay, so V how much you got here? 10 voltage. Okay, VCC how much here? 10 voltage, right? 10 divided by RMS means you can take square root of 2 whole to the power of square here divided by 100. RL how much they given here? Given question 100 ohm, right? Same thing you substitute here. So PL is now 0.5 watt. Understood? So we want to express the power in voltage. Okay, that is in AC. AC means you take RMS value, that is V square RMS divided by RL. So you can write now 10 divided by square root of 2 whole to the power square divided by 100. So how much you got here? The power is 0.5 watt. Understood? Remember this one. First question we not have to neglect here. Second question we have to neglect the V saturation. Okay. From that you can find out the PL. Understood? So this is the one problem on the class A amplifier. Understood? For the next class we'll discuss with the one more problem here. Okay. I think this is also same here. We go for with the power conversion efficiency. Okay. For tomorrow's class we can discuss about now power conversion efficiency for the class A amplifier. Understood? So is there any doubts here? Yes. I'll stop the class now. Yes, you can leave the meeting now.